the transitioning, young kids and stuff like that. What are your thoughts?
But as far as kids, I mean, look, sometimes with a kid, you know what I mean? Like, some kids are just, it's like super flamboyant. When the kid comes out and the mom's like, son, you were flamboyant, in the nursery, right? So, but I mean, I'm not qualified to. I think it would have to be like, if you really just know, if your kid, you know when you know. For that, then I think that's a beautiful thing. The earlier you can do it.
What about the people who are having like remorse about like regretting it later down the road?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, and as society, we need to protect the most vulnerable. Right, like I understand that you have both sides where it's like, this is what that person feels like in the moment,
right?
But also, it's pretty irreversible and irrevocable damage that's being done. You're cutting out parts of your anatomy.
Yeah.
You're taking hormones at a time when your body, like, I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. There's nobody in the world that would have let my dad give me steroids at 12 years old until I was fucking 25.
It's too bad.
Yeah, right? Like, sorry, Dad. There's nobody that would have done that. That would have been he would have been put in jail. Right? These hormones are steroids. I mean, these hormones are what they are. Right. And they're going to change someone's physiology. They're going to change their mental capacities. You wouldn't let a 12-year-old go fucking buy a pack of smokes. You wouldn't let a 12-year-old fucking go and...
Agreed.
Drink alcohol. Look, you give them as much help with the mental aspect as they need. That I think we can all agree on. Like, you shouldn't have had to wait until this late in your life to come to the realization of this is the center of my pain and this is the manifestation of that pain, right? Yeah. So I think if you had access to better, mental health and it
that's
wasn't
what I was thinking. Like, what if instead of like going through with what do they call, like hormones?
Yeah.
It was like you had to go through like therapy first, or like kind of like a psychiatrist where you can kind of talk this stuff through and see if this is the proper, way to go. Maybe something like that.
I'll tell you
why.
They
used to require that.
They still do to a certain level, but it's the well's poison.
And they all got to pay for that, right?
Well, that's where I was going.
Stuff,
you know exactly where I'm going with it. The well is poisoned because the people that they're sending the kids to are far biased towards these hyper left wing postmodern.
Right. We probably shouldn't send money to Ukraine and kind of focus on helping out over here with people. You know what I mean?
How dare you? How dare you?
What do you mean?
How dare you, sir?
And I just asked, I asked the universe, God, I said, just if I could have one friend, I don't know. I announced this is the social life. That's it. Social life, going out and until I figure it out. And I went out that night, met a few people. And then within a week, I had met 40, 50 people in that drag environment. They're so just cool and loving. And it was everything I needed for 2.5 months until I came out and saw you that night. So it was just an incredible environment to just heal and be around people that aren't just judgy.
So I think a good part of our society in this moment is that people are very aware and they want to be empathetic. And there's a lot of public shame about anybody who isn't open-minded, as opposed to, the very repressive 40s, 50s, 60s. Now, I think that there's a negative side to that as well, because I think that there are people that are vulnerable and are maybe outcast in some way, especially younger people, who see the adulation that community can give somebody. And then they say, well, I need that love too. Yeah. Maybe I'm trans, maybe I'm drag. Right. And they're not.
Right.
And I think that's something that we need to be aware of as well. So,
well, you just nailed it. Most people, that it's like there is no spoon. This doesn't exist. I wanted love.